Hey guys, it's Empress. Guess what? I'm back with another one. Let's get to it.
It's more than statements, it's a way of life. So ambition, the Mr. Jackson talking.
Alright, so I know y'all like, we want you to get to the girly show. Alright, I want to get to this girly show too. I like the title of it, girly show, but anyway, y'all know I still gotta listen to what my girl was talking about. What was her feeling? What was her mood back in 1992 as all of this was happening? This was a interview that most of you guys dropped in the comments. Like, if you watch anything on this era, watch this guy, Jonathan Ross. Never heard this guy, but we're gonna watch this interview. Hopefully we get some little nuggets, which I know we will. So y'all know what time it is. Let's get to it. Oh, okay, this is in the UK.
It's a funny old job, television. You never quite know what the day's going to bring. For example, some mornings I get up early, have a shave, head for the studio, and then find myself preparing all day so that I can interview a man who talks backwards very quickly. Other times you're picked up in a car like this one, taken to a posh hotel, wearing a nice new jacket that you hope says something like, I'm smart, I'm clean, I'm hip, but don't get too close, I'm married, before being escorted past throngs of desperate teenagers and representatives of the finest press corps in the world, the British tabloids, into the presence of one who is far more famous than you could ever expect to be, which of course is what I'm doing today. You see, even as I speak, the one and only Madonna is pacing up and down in a hotel room not far from here.
It's a great
preparing
clip.
herself and her answers for me and my questions, erecting an emotional barricade against the silver-tongued onslaught to follow. Barricades which, of course, will fall away like the flimsiest items of lingerie as I get really warmed up. Perhaps she's even panting in fear. Fear that she, this material girl, this post-pop icon who promises so much, might not live up to expectations, might not deliver the goods, not just for me, but for you, the world-weary, sophisticated, seen-it-all-before audience. And for the record, I'm happy to admit that I'm a little nervous as well. You see, I've interviewed some of the biggest stars of the 80s and 90s, but there's something about Madonna, or Madge, as I prefer to call her, that's different.
All right, so this guy, Jonathan Ross, as an interviewer, I like him already. This little intro, it's intense across the board for me. It reminds me of something I would slice together, okay? Let's go.
Thank you. Come on, everyone. How are you? I've got to go in. She's waiting.
All right, guys, so I had to go pick up my little baby girl, baby Empress. Y'all give her a shout out. Drop us some comments down below. All right, anyway, let's watch this video.
Waiting for me. She's expectant. She plays the game better than any other modern star. While others hide away from the glare, exciting us by remaining unavailable, unattainable, almost private, she seems to give more and more away each year. While Michael Jackson remains a rather sad enigma, while George Michael tries to suggest a little more depth by keeping quiet, while Prince gets on with, well, whatever it is that Prince does in those bumless pants and chainmail cap of his, Madonna is always out there, talking about her sexual preferences, hinting at the, if not forbidden, slightly riper fruit of her love life, even to the extreme of taking a whole chunk of her existence, a whole period of work and sex and play, and paying a film crew to follow her around and catch every last...
Hey, yo, what you doing? I gotta get her rattled. She tripping.
moment for public consumption. If it's worth doing, she seems to be saying, then why not do it in front of an audience? In fact, why not do it in a beautifully produced, aluminium-bound, arty photo...
Oh yeah, that's something to say. For Baby Empress put my earbuds out. I love that kind of breakdown of how Madonna at the time was different than all three of like her male contemporaries at the time, and how again she was kind of the opposite of like boom, she's putting it all out there. At least all of what she wanted us to see. Again, she was still able to retain some level of privacy, I feel like, an extent. All right, anyway, let's go.
Graphic book and charge people 25 sogs a pop for it. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about Madge is that people no longer seem to think about the fact that she's a talented singer or actress or live performer. It's the incredible fuss she managed to cause just by jogging in the park or, well, taking her knickers off for the camera. Madonna is way above all that boring song and dance talent stuff. She is the Napoleon of hype, the Attila the Hun of self-promotion, the Julius Caesar of modern mass marketing. And what makes it even better, even more incredible, is that she's a woman. Blimey, she's a genius. Well, first of all, let me, before we start properly, I just wanted to ask you to just relax and don't be nervous about it. And I'm just a regular guy.
Do I look nervous?
No, but I thought you might have, you might have heard things, you might have felt a little bit, I don't know.
I've heard things, but certainly not more than what you've heard about me.
No, I'm sure. No, it's very nice to see you back in London.
Thank you.
And the fuss downstairs, I don't know, you're probably used to it, but all the press outside and fans outside, is that something you get used to, or is it just a kind of pain?
Well, I don't think you ever really, I mean, you expect it after a while, but you don't really get used to it, because a lot of times you want to, go out for a walk and do something spontaneous, and you can't really do anything unless you call in the troops, basically. So I don't really ever get used to it.
Is that why you didn't go jogging this morning?
I loved her response, like you would come to expect it. That's interesting.
Of you giving up that kind of thing?
No, I exercised this morning, but it's just so difficult to go outside, so just do it in my room.
Let me ask you, you're not wearing it now, and I must admit I'm mildly disappointed, but this new
sorry.
gold tooth, is it a D on it?
Yes.
For Dita.
Dita.
The movie star. You've got, well, tell me about it first of all. What inspired it? How many do you have? And where do you keep it when it's not in?
Well, it was inspired, the gold tooth, I've seen it on people and I like the way it looks. I've seen it on gypsies, I've seen it on Indian women, I've seen it on rappers, in New York, stuff like that. And so I liked it. I think I like gold, first of all. And the D, what inspired putting the D on it, because that's the narrator of my book, Dita Parlo. And also I wear it in my video because the beginning of the song starts off with my name is Dita. And I like the D. I have one with an M in it, but I don't like to wear it.
Does it annoy you when it's on, or you just forget about
Can't
it?
even feel it.
Do you have any other body jewellery you'd care to share with us?
Only rings. I mean, that's it.
Okay.
No pierced nipples.
Thanks for sharing that, even if you don't have any. You ever thought about that?
I've thought about how painful it must be, and I've never want to do it. That's about it.
Let me talk
So Janet beat her there.
a little bit about the way your career's gone, because I remember the first time I saw you on television ever in this country, you came over to do the Tube television show.
Yeah.
And I looked at that clip recently, and it's a very different looking you.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, physically, and the way you dress, the way you move, and just to look, there is...
I've changed.
You have changed enormously. And for the better, I like to think.
Oh, I'd like to think that, too. I just know more about life, period, I mean, because I do what I do, I've been exposed to so many different kinds of people and culture, and I know more. And I guess I feel more comfortable in my skin. So...
Erotica, which I was listening to this morning on my little Walkman and enjoying very much, it's got much more of a kind of a dancey R&B sound to it, quite a heavy sound to it.
Yeah.
Is it intended for the clubs? Is that a step that you're trying to make?
No, that's the kind of music I've been listening to, influenced by, and I mean, it probably has a sort of a more gritty quality and more club quality, but it's because that's what I like right now. Yeah.
There are a lot of... I mean, it's a very sexy album.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
Not all of it, but most of it. But some songs more than others, and there are a lot of kind of anatomical references. Now, when you're writing that kind of stuff, are you writing that for yourself, or are you writing that with some kind of impression that you want to make?
I like, when I write music, I like to write them like, in my mind, there's a little movie playing, and I always envision scenarios and characters, and of course, it's not always something that I've experienced, but I always say it in the first person, so it seems like it's a personal thing. And they're just usually ideas that amuse me. I mean, sometimes they're things that I think are erotic. Sometimes they're things that I think would be interesting to write a song about, because no one's ever written a song about it. I mean, I'm influenced by many things, and my inspirations come from lots of different places, and sometimes I know I'm purposely being funny or ironic, and sometimes I just like the way words sound.
Do you worry that people might not get the irony, but they might not pick up on the humour?
Not really. I mean, everyone's not gonna, you have to be intelligent to get the humor. You have to be sophisticated, and I know everybody isn't, so some people will get it and some people won't.
Let me talk to you about one song in particular which I enjoy, which is Where Life Begins.
Oh, good.
And it's a top song, and the lyrics on it, this particular bit. Now, what could be better than a home-cooked meal? How you want to eat it depends on how you feel. Forgive the delivery, please. You can eat all you want and you don't get fat. Now, where else can you go for a meal like that? It's not fair to be selfish or stingy. Every girl should experience eating out. Well, first of all, here.
Meaning you agree with it?
When I heard it, I was shouting, author, author. I gave you a standing ovation. I was on the train at the time. But there's a message there, and it's a funny song as well.
Well, it's innuendo, too, because first it's the implication that girls like to go out. It's like if you say, I like to eat out tonight, it could be taken as I like to go out to a restaurant. So there's like the surface of it, right? There's the surface meaning, and then, of course, hopefully, the majority of the people will get that it's also a sexual reference. And I truly believe that every girl should experience eating out. In both cases, sexually and in restaurants.
And could the
or
two,
sometimes the two could meet.
Yeah, they could be combined. Have to be in a very liberal restaurant, of course.
Absolutely.
Got any tips on the frequency that we're talking about here?
On a regular basis. Absolutely. I mean...
It's implicit, the sexual innuendo, the references there. But looking back on other songs, it's quite easy to see a thread, even if it wasn't intended. Like, and I read recently that you said that Like a Virgin, you intended Virgin to be seen as just coming to something fresh.
Yeah.
For the first time, not particularly...
Well, I always try to... I try to write songs so that they could be read on lots of different levels, you know. So you could appreciate them superficially, and then if you go deeper, you see something else.
You worked very successfully with Prince. You had a duet with Prince, and there was a lot of talk, of course, at one time of you working with Michael Jackson. I know you were quite keen on that, and people were looking forward to it. It would have been really something.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, it would have been really something.
Well, I mean, just, you know, a lot of it has to do with chemistry. There's, like, lots of great painters, but I don't know if they got together, they'd make a great painting. You know what I mean?
Not the same thing, though, is it? I mean, you
Yes,
can't really
it
share
is.
a brush, can you? It's not...
Well, I don't know. I mean, Andy
Rembrandt
Warhol
and
got
Picasso,
together
though.
with Keith Haring and made paintings, and they were great.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, that is... Okay, you got me there. But so you weren't happy. Was it the chemistry that caused it to fall apart then?
Well, it's not that I was unhappy. I mean, it was an experiment. He called me. He wanted to write a song with me. I mean, he approached me, and I was, like, curious. It's hard for me to write music with people because I have to really know them and trust them and feel that I can really make myself vulnerable, because when you write, you have to sort of bear a little bit of your soul, and you have to not be afraid to make mistakes and to sing in front of someone. You know, it's in a way, it's a very intimate experience. So I wasn't sure it was going to work, even though I think he's talented. So we got together, and he played me a bit of music. It was a very unfinished track, and he said that he wanted to call the song In the Closet. And I said, really?
Well, no, hold it a second before we go on there. What exactly was he referring to there?
Well, wait, that's what I'm getting to. I said, you want to call the song In the Closet? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, do you know what that implies? And he said, yeah. And he sort of giggled a little bit. And I said, well, you know, I like to deal with these kind of ironic innuendo kind of things. So if you want to go that way, I was kind of like shocked that he wanted to call something like that, because it's very provocative, the title. And so he said, yeah. So I started writing words and getting ideas and stuff, and I presented them to him, and he didn't like them. And I think that I think all he wanted was a provocative title, and ultimately he didn't want the content of the song to be sort of live up to the title. And
it's quite interesting, because it's almost like you traditionally, you've got the kind of masculine role in that relationship, and he is the passive.
Yes, definitely.
But let's not go much further with that, shall
Let's
we?
not. Well, you're welcome to.
There was talk, I believe, that you were going to restyle him. You didn't like the way he looked. What did you have in mind for him?
I really wanted him to cut his hair. I mean, you know, just that, you know, just I think sometimes...
All right. Not too much on Michael now. Not too much on Michael.
It's good to cut your hair and start all over again.
How short?
That was
could
my
you-
main thing. I wanted him to get a really short haircut. I wanted him to get rid of those loafers, you know, and the white socks. I just thought, you know, just try something new. But, you know,
when you look at people, do you generally, I mean, are you, if not critical, are you kind of aware of the way people look, and do you think he or she would look better this way, or why don't they do this way? Is that something that's often going on in your head?
Oh, yeah. I'm often reading people.
You, what would you do for me?
In general?
Well, you can be as specific as you want, but...
Well, let's see. What would I do for you right now with what you were wearing?
Yeah.
Well, I think you actually look quite good. I mean, I was told you were wearing a lavender jacket, and I didn't expect to like it.
It's
And I can see that it's Mugler.
Yeah.
It is, right? He's not my favorite designer. I would probably wear less of his clothes.
Oh.
I would probably wear less of his clothes.
There goes the wardrobe. Let's get back to you, because obviously you're far more
But you look
interesting.
better than I thought you would.
Well, what did you expect?
I don't know. I mean,
Some kind of a hunchback coming in or something?
No, but, well, you know. I mean, I saw one picture of you, but I couldn't see your face. You were looking down.
Was it one of those men's magazines?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased to have exceeded your expectations. It's obviously made it a nicer day for you. I like to spread a little happiness wherever I go.
Thank you.
When critics talk about you, and obviously they do on a regular basis, what I've noticed is recently more and more they talk about the way how brilliant you are at marketing yourself, how you are this genius at packaging, at getting publicity, and yet rarely, it seems anymore, do they talk about the songs, the videos, the live performance, the films. It's like Madonna, the phenomena.
Right.
Is that something that bores you? Is that something that actually
Yes,
you
I
feel
think
depressed?
it's boring, but I think it's, what it is a reflection of society, because I think the subject matter that I deal with, because it usually is about taboo subjects, people are so frightened of my ideas that they try to undermine my actual talent or any artistic value that may be in any of my work, and just say, oh, she's just doing that to shock people, or oh, look, she's changing her look again, oh, she really knows how to manipulate the media. But the fact is, if that's all I was good at doing, I don't think people would be paying attention to me for this long. I mean, I'm still here.
Erotic